Hi, this is Megan with Rocky Mountain Living Walls. Today I want to talk to you about one of my favorite plants to design with, tillandsia. Tillandsia are more commonly known as air plants. This little beauty is Tillandsia jacqueloinas that I got recently at the Denver Botanic Gardens. But you don't have to go anywhere fancy to pick one up. They're available at most commercial greenhouses. Tillandsia are the largest genus in the bromeliad family with over 600 different species. They're not only bromeliads, they're also epiphytes. This means that they use their roots to attach to a host plant rather than being planted in the dirt. Epiphytes are not parasitic to the host plant. They don't harm the host plant in any way. They just hang out. Tillandsias are native to Central and South America as well as Mexico, so moderate temperate climates. The tillandsia has a very slow growth cycle, but all of them will bloom given the proper environment. As you see, this jacqueloinas is getting ready to bloom by sending out a shoot, which we call an inflorescence, from the base of the plant. This is the reproductive organ, and this also includes tiny bracts, which are colorful sheaths where the flowers come out of. These bracts will stay colorful long after the flower has faded, so you may want to hang on to the flower for a while. But when you're tired of looking at it, just take a sharp pair of scissors and cut the inflorescence off at the base of the plant. All tillandsias will die after blooming, unfortunately, but before they die, they will create pups or little babies at the base of the plant. Once these pups are viable, you can simply peel it off the plant and then you have new air plants. In addition to creating pups, the flowers will drop seeds in these puffy, cottony seeds that can float to nearby trees to germinate. How do you care for a tillandsia? Well, the most important part of caring for a tillandsia is making sure that it has the proper amount of light. Bright, indirect light is crucial for a healthy tillandsia. It can take a few hours of morning sun, and you'll notice that if you stick your tillandsia in the morning sun and it's colorful, the colors will really start to come out. You can see some red along the edges of the leaves of this jacqueloinas that really came out once I stuck it into a little bit of morning sun. If you have a location where you want to stick a tillandsia but it doesn't receive a lot of indirect light, like a coffee table in the middle of the room, all you have to do is rotate them out. So maybe you have 3 or 4 tillandsias and you have a few good locations and one bad location. Just keep the tillandsia in the bad location for about a week before you move it back into the bright indirect light. And just keep rotating them through so that you can have a beautiful display wherever you want it. If you do provide morning light for your tillandsia, you want to make sure that you are watering it a little bit more frequently because they can burn very easily. And make sure that you're not leaving it in the sun after about 10 a.m. because they don't want that bright, hot afternoon sun, just the cool morning sun. You'll notice that if you have your tillandsia in a location where it's not receiving enough light, that the leaves will start to discolor and you'll notice a little bit of spotting. And if this goes on too long, you may water your tillandsia one day and it might just totally fall apart without any warning. So make sure that you have it in the right spot or are rotating it through to the right spot. In addition to making sure that you have bright indirect light for your tillandsia, you want to make sure that you are watering it frequently. There are a couple different methods for watering them, and the one that I prefer is to soak the entire plant in water about once a week. You want to make sure you're soaking it for 1 to 2 hours so that the trichomes are thoroughly getting soaked and that the water is being absorbed into the plant. Alternative to soaking the plant is to mist it. This is a better solution for plants that are in containers that can't be removed for soaking. So you just want to get a mister and make sure that it is thoroughly watered on both the tops and bottoms of the leaves. And depending on the type of tillandsia that you have and the location that you put it, you may need to mist it as often as once a day or as little as a few times a week. But you want to do it pretty often. Normal home temperatures are just fine for a tillandsia. You want to keep them basically above 40 degrees Fahrenheit and below about 100 degrees. Probably not having those temperatures in your house. How do you fertilize a tillandsia? Well, they will readily absorb fertilizer through the water when you water them. You want to get a water-soluble organic fertilizer and fertilize your plant by soaking or misting it at about half strength of the fertilizer. You want to get one that has about equal levels of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. It could be a little bit heavier on the nitrogen side, and that would still be fine. You want to fertilize your tillandsia about once every 2 weeks to about once every 2 months. This is going to depend on the season, what type of plant you have, and just its general condition. If you would like to learn a little bit more about air plants, I highly recommend this book, Air Plants, The Curious World of Tillandsias by Zenaida Singo. This is a great resource to learn about how to care for air plants, but it also has some really cool design ideas. A couple of my favorites are vertical gardens, as you might have guessed. And one of them is really cool. This is a ceramic container where the tillandsias have just been glued in along with some moss and then mounted vertically on the wall. Another cool idea is to create a shadow box of tillandsias by putting wire mesh in the shadow box and just sticking the tillandsias through the mesh so that they stay in place. I highly recommend this book. Really great. Thanks so much for watching my video. Please leave a comment. Let me know if you liked it, what other topics you might be interested in seeing. Thanks so much.